Hi everyone, welcome to my channel again. It's your Realtor Jill here. Today I have Shannon Moore, a trusted loan officer that I have the privilege to meet. And funny how we don't have the chance to work together yet, but hopefully after this video that will be changed. Shannon, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi. Thank you for having me. My name is Shannon Moore, and I'm with Integrity Home Mortgage. And we are a local lender here in the Houston market, but we also do loans all over the country. And just so you know, I've been in this crazy industry since 1990, so for a long time.
Wow, 1990, that was the year I was born. So, so Shannon is a loan officer in our Houston area, and later on I'll let her talk more about what other states that she serves. But we do have a crazy years of interest rate. I was kind of expected it would be going down a little bit, but no, it stayed consistently at 6.5, 6.6. So our chat today will help you for some home buyer or seasoned home buyers understand more about loan and this process, and also a few other questions related to the current interest rate that we can discuss. So Shannon, where do you see it goes from here? Like, will the interest rate eventually will go down, or will it stay consistently at six something, or will it shoot up crazy high? What do you think?
I think we're going to kind of stay consistent on where we are right now. It may teeter a little up or a little down occasionally, but I really do not see, or from what I hear, the rates really dipping back down. Where they were several years ago was an anomaly. I mean, that's probably more than likely never going to happen. I have never seen the rates go as low as they did, and I just don't think that will ever happen again. I think where we are right now is kind of a traditional um, level of where the interest rate is, and I think that we are where we're going to be. So it's not a bad time to buy; it's a good time to buy right now.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, the what you say might disappoint some people, but it is what it is, right? So tell me more about why you say it is a good time to buy.
Well, I think right now we're in a buyer's market. Maybe not every area, but I think the majority of the areas that I've been working in, I think it's a buyer's market. I think that sellers are willing to contribute to closing costs. And that's a good thing because those closing costs can be used to help buy down the interest rate.
Yes.
So, if you're offsetting some of the costs with the seller paying that, then you have funds left to help buy down that rate
Mhm.
and get you to the payment where you want to be. So maybe the house is a little bit more and you're like, oh, I just can't afford it. But if you have a little bit lower interest rate due to the help of the sellers, I think we can get you to where you want to be. Not always, but we can at least give it a shot.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can agree with me, but I've seen that since the interest rate is a little bit higher than before,
Uh-huh.
the houses has been sitting longer, and in turn, the sellers start to realize that okay, we need to adjust the pricing
Mhm.
according to the market, so it's not as high at 2021, 2022 anymore. Um, and there's a story I want to share. So yesterday I was in my neighborhood Facebook group, and one person was posting that their house was for sale, and it was the lowest, cheapest house in the neighborhood. And someone else commented, "Hey, there's another house down the road from you. It was cheaper." I'm like, okay, so and that was in my neighborhood Facebook group, so it's not a realtor group or a loan officer group or anything. So apparently, sellers are coming to the realization that okay, well, we need to adjust the price. We need to be realistic in this
Mhm.
market.
Right. Well, you don't always have to adjust the price,
Hmm.
but instead of lowering, why not give that difference in a seller concession? Right.
Right.
So
Right.
that helps kind of keep the values up,
Hmm.
but also helps buyers, come in and purchase your home.
Right. So with the price is kind of like also still a little bit high compared to the buyers that out there looking right now. I feel like homes can totally uh, get appraised at a higher price, and then the seller and the buyer should take advantage of that in
Yeah,
order to help the buyer to secure the home.
yeah, I
Um,
agree.
yeah. So, what strategies can buyers use to lower the monthly payment in today's market besides, asking for the seller to help buy down the rate?
Well, they could do a few things. They could put down more money.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a way to do it.
Mhm.
Definitely shop the insurance. Right now, one of the things that is keeping the payment up a little bit is insurance is a little higher today than it was before.
Oh my gosh.
So
Yes.
I definitely always tell my clients shop it, but you want to make sure that you use a good insurance company that if something happens, they're going to write a check, right?
Yeah.
They themselves could buy down their rate permanently. Um, if we can always go back to the seller and say, hey, would you help us buy down the rate permanently, or would you help us do like a 2-1 buy down
Mhm.
where the interest rate is bought down for 2 years, and then after the first year it goes up, and then on the second year it goes up to where it's going to stay for the life of the loan.
Mhm.
Those are good ways to keep their payment down, or just buy a home that maybe doesn't cost as much,
Yeah.
right? I mean, think about like, what is your game plan for the future? Is this really a home that you plan on staying in, you
Mhm.
know, for the next 20, 10, 15 years? If not, and you feel like maybe this is only a home for 5 years, then maybe use it as a stepping stone to purchase that bigger home later. Just buy a smaller home, smaller price, build up that equity, and then when you sell it, use that equity to buy the new home.
Yeah. Totally. I feel like a lot of buyers these days, especially first time home buyer,
Uh-huh.
is to max out whatever they're pre-approval for. So that leads us to the next question. Should home buyers max out their pre-approval amount? Say if they get approved for 500K, should they go shop for 500K homes?
I'm going to say no, but the first thing I think all buyers should do is, don't wait to the last minute to try to get pre-approved. Start early. If you know within the year that you really want to move, or maybe your family is growing and you're going to want to purchase a home and you're still in a lease, get it with a loan officer.
Mhm.
Call me and let's put a plan together. Because one of the things that we're going to talk about is, what is your budget? Because when you get pre-qualified, I'm not calculating gas and groceries and car insurance and all these other things that you like to do. I'm not going to calculate that into your debt to income ratio. And I'm also calculating your debt to income ratio based off your gross income, not your net. So, especially with first time home buyers, I'm going to have those conversations, and we're going to look at some monthly payments, and I'm going to run some numbers, and I'm going to figure out, okay, where are you comfortable with? Just because you can afford it doesn't mean you need to buy it, because the last thing you want to be is house poor. You
Mhm.
know, then you're not happy. You can't go and do the things you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Shannon, you just, lead us to the next question so smoothly without realizing it, I'm sure. Um, so how much cash does a buyer realistically need to buy a home today? Say the average price of Houston home right now is about 350. Uh,
Mhm.
how much cash do they need to be able to afford that house?
That's a good question. And I'm going to use that term that people don't like to hear. It depends, right?
Yeah.
Because depending on what your income is, let's just say you're a first time home buyer, you don't have a lot of cash. Well, like right now, for an example, I have a client buying in that range. They don't have a lot of money, but they qualify for down payment assistance and they're getting a seller concession. So, how much money did they need just themselves in their bank account? $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they needed. But because they qualified for these other programs and the seller helping, they didn't need as much.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they are putting a minimal amount down. They're getting the max seller concessions that they can get for the program, and they're getting 4% down payment assistance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that really depends. If you're a first time home buyer, a lot of people think you have to have 15 to 20% down payment to buy a home. You don't. If
Mm-hmm.
you're a first time home buyer, you can qualify with 3% down on some programs, 3.5%. If you're buying and you qualify for VA or USDA, you don't have to put anything down.
Mm-hmm.
So no, you don't have to have 15 to 20% to put down to purchase a home. If you've owned a home in the past 3 years and you're going to buy a new one, you can still get in with only 5% down.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to add something that Shannon kind of mentioned a little bit earlier too. What's your goal, right? As a home buyer, do you want to have a home because you're tired of renting, or you want to have a home so you can build wealth, right? So if you want to build wealth, definitely you can't just put down 3.5% as a down payment. Doesn't mean that you should do it, because your monthly payment and the interest payment are every month gonna be so high. So definitely reach out to loan officer like Shannon and talk about your goal, and share, the numbers that you want with them every month, that you're comfortable paying, and they will come up with a plan for you. If it's like, okay, well, I can afford this much every month. However, I only have this much for down payments and closing costs. Maybe they'll ask you to wait a little bit and accumulate more cash to make that monthly payment happen, instead of just going in and buying blindly. I'm sure, realtors and loan officers are here to help you out with your financial goal.
Right. I always tell everybody we're a team, right?
Yeah.
The buyer, the real estate agent, and myself, we're a team.
Mhm.
Because once the buyer and I put the plan together, then we need to share that plan with you, the real estate agent. So when you're negotiating on their behalf, you know what the wants and needs are, right?
Yes, yes. So, income and then credit score is another factor of being able to be approved for a loan. What
Mhm.
credit score is needed to qualify for a mortgage, and what are the biggest credit myths in your opinion, Shannon?
Um, the minimum score for the most part is like 580. There are some niche programs out there, but you're going to need a lot of money to put down
Mhm.
if you have a lower score.
Mhm.
But just because you're like, oh, you know, freecredit.com says I have a 580 score. It's not just the score that we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at the actual credit. So, for instance, on FHA, if you have a lot of recent lates in the past 12 months, even though you have a 580 credit score, you're more than likely may not get approved.
Hmm.
But that's another reason to speak to a lender early.
Right.
Let's take a look at it and figure out, okay, how long will it take and what do you need to do? Because that's what we're here to do, is to help you put that plan together.
Mhm.
The other, you mentioned income.
Mhm.
So another thing, if you are commission, if you get bonuses, if you get overtime, if you've been out of work and you've just gone back to work, all of those things could possibly be an issue, just depending on how much are you making, what is your 2-year history. And we really need to look at that. If you've had a 6-month gap, we're going to want to know why. Why did you have a 6-month gap in employment? Some things are acceptable. Maybe you were off and you had a baby and you're starting back to work. Some of the programs are going to want you to be back to work at least 30 days. Some may need to be back to work for 60 days, or 6 months even. So there's different things that we need to look at up front, and then we can put that plan together. But if you've been commissioned for a long time, we're going to look at that 2-year history. If you've been getting bonuses and overtime, we're going to look at that 2-year history. Another thing, just employment wise, during COVID, a lot of people were working from home. They were off-site workers. Well, then companies called people back to work. Some employees can work part-time at home and work at the office. But I do have some that are full-time, off-site. They can work anywhere. And we always have to get a letter stating that they can work from anywhere. They don't have to go into the office. So for example, if you work in Houston and you want to live in Austin, we're going to question, okay, if your office is in Houston, why are you living in Austin? Do you have that ability? So just be prepared to have that conversation, and we will figure that out. So we will figure it out. So if you don't bring it up, we will bring it up.
Yeah. So how do student loans and car payments and credit card debt affect buying power?
Well, if you're overloaded with monthly debt, that will affect you from probably getting pre-approved, right? Your debt to income ratio is what we're looking at. How much monthly debt, including the new home, do you have compared to your gross income that you're bringing in monthly? A lot of people think, well, all my student loans have been deferred, right? So I don't owe anything. So why do we have to count the monthly payment into my debt to income ratio? Well, depending on what program we use, we're going to calculate a percentage of what your balance is for each student loan and use that payment in your debt to income ratio. At some point, those student loans are going to come due. So we have to allow for some kind of payment so that you get to a point and you go, oh my gosh, my student loans have come due. Now I can't afford my home. Car payments and other debt. If you are carrying a lot of debt right now, what we'll do is we'll look at it. Like with me, I only run a soft pull up front, so I'm not affecting your credit, but it gives me the ability to look to see what you have. And then we'll go through it and determine, hey, if you want to buy this house, your DTI is a little high, but maybe this credit card you can pay down, right?
Yeah.
And that would help you qualify. Okay, how long will it take you to pay that down? Okay, well, let's go ahead and put everything together. Or it could be a debt that we could allow you to pay off at closing for you to qualify, and then you don't have to wait. So there's a lot of things that we can do, but more than likely we'll put a plan together. And, if the buyer is willing to move forward, we'll execute it and get going.
Okay. Well, let's tie everything together. So
Sure.
pretend like I'm a buyer. I'm not a realtor today. I'm a buyer. Okay. I talked to you, Shannon, a year in advance. Hey, Shannon, next year I want to buy a house. What should I be doing today? And tell me, explain to me the whole process of buying the house from a loans officer perspective. So Shannon, I think I'll be ready to buy a home next year. What should I do today?
Okay, well, let's do this. First, I'm going to ask you to fill out an application, but I'm only going to do a soft pull. It's not going to cost you anything, and it's not going to affect your credit in any way. Then what that does is allow me to capture this information so I can run some numbers, and then you and I together can sit down and go through it, and we can see where those numbers fall. We can talk about your goals. Where are you wanting to be? And or what do you need to do to maybe even meet those goals, right? So that to me, that's the first step. Because there are things that I'm probably going to bring up to you that maybe you didn't even think about it, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say you're paying $1,700 in rent, and you're thinking, okay, it's a little tight, but I should be able to afford a home. Well, when you're renting, you're not, compared to buying a home, you're not paying out as much as you would once you go to buy that home, right? So your utilities are different. The apartment complex may be covering the water. Well, when you buy a home, you have to pay the water. What if you buy a home and it has gas? Now you have a gas bill. Well, maybe your Wi-Fi is part of your $1,700 a month. Well, now you're buying a home, so that Wi-Fi bill is going to be different. Well, the apartment is covering the trash. Well, now you're going to have a trash, is that going to be part of it? Or an HOA, or the electricity is going to be a little higher, and you need to mow the yard. There's just different things. So especially for first-time home buyers, I want to go through all of those steps with you and talk about it, because that may make you go, oh, okay, well, maybe I don't want a $3,000 monthly payment. Maybe I need to back that up to 26 or 25. So I'm comfortable and I still have the ability to put money into savings, or, go out to dinner once a week, or buy a new dress, or go on a vacation, because you don't want to give up having a life, or you're just going to be miserable if you buy a home and then you're like, I can't do anything because I'm just stuck here at home.
Yeah.
I don't want any of my clients to feel that way. So I like to cover all of that in advance.
Yeah, that's great, because I see a lot of people just, give up their lifestyle almost. They can't go out anymore, they can't travel anymore since they bought a home. And that's the last thing we want for our clients. And on top of all the expenses that Shannon just listed out, every 5 to 7 years you get hit with a major expense like HVAC, foundation, roof, all that fun stuff. So the cost of homeowner is a lot different than the cost of being a tenant.
Right.
So sorry to interrupt. Please go ahead with the next step.
And then after that, and we sit down and we go through it and we calculate what you're comfortable with, then I always ask my clients, well, I'm sorry, let me back up. We're going to go through, don't take on any new debt. Save what you can. Try to pay down some things if you can, but we're going to work those numbers out up front to see exactly where they need to be, so they know exactly what they need to do right ahead of time. And then I always say, try to figure out where you want to live. Get with your realtor, let them start sending you some properties, because we're going to figure out that sweet spot where you're comfortable for a payment, and we'll back into a sales price. And then that's something they can share with you, so you can start helping them on the neighborhoods or the part of town they want to be. What type of home, right? Do they want a townhouse? Do they want a condo? What is it that they're looking for? So to me, those two steps are the most important.
Okay.
They're the most important. And then once, of course, they find something, because they've been running around town with you and you come up with one, then we'll move forward with everything else. But in the meantime, I will be collecting some documents, right? I'm going to verify the income up front, most importantly. If they don't have the money, the savings yet, then I'll worry about the savings when we get a little closer. I'll be giving them a goal so that they know where they need to be. And then we'll also be talking to you ahead of time by letting them know, hey, Either they're good to go, or we're going to work on some down payment assistance, but we're still going to need some seller concessions. So if there's a home and the seller says, no, I'm not giving anything, then we know we need to move on to another one. But we need you to be part of the team and know what we need and move forward from there.
Yeah. What are some mistakes that can cause a buyer to lose a loan approval after being approved?
Oh gosh, this happens. It's even though we give them the 10 commandments up front of what not to do, clients that change jobs without giving us a heads up. If you plan on changing your job during the process, I need to know so I can tell you all the steps that we need to go through. And it may delay closing. It absolutely. Or if you're changing the way that you get paid. I've actually have clients who have been salary. I've pre-qualified them on a salary, but then they decided they wanted to be in outside sales and now they're going the commission route.
Mhm.
Well, I can no longer use that salary and you don't have a history of making commission.
Oh,
So I won't be able to do that loan
yeah.
until you have that history. Or this is funny. I back in the early 2000s, we were sitting at a closing table and the doctor pulled up and he came inside and told us to all go to the window and look down and see his new Porsche he just bought. And we all went, oh no. So we couldn't do that. It got delayed. We had to go back and requalify him because this is now a new debt that we didn't know about that we have to go back and it has to completely go back through underwriting. So absolutely don't buy anything new. Don't take out any new credit. Don't have your credit run because that can lower your credit score by adding inquiries. So keep your job. If you're changing jobs, let us know ahead of time so we can plan on it, right? Continue to save your money and don't just no new debt. The new debt is the thing that really kills people.
Right. And don't be late on any payments.
Oh, don't be late. Absolutely. Do not be late. You're right. That will kill it immediately.
Right.
So, and it affects your score, your credit score, which affects your interest rate and could affect the program that you're trying to, close on.
Yeah. So basically just stay away, whatever affect the income, the debt, and the credit score.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what are the loan programs or down payment assistance options that are buyers sometimes overlooking?
Well, I really think it's kind of the loan officer who needs to bring that up. We're the ones that work with it day in and day out. There you have some really good home buyers that have already researched it and they know what they want, but for the majority, they don't have any idea. They'll come to me going, okay, we only have this much money. Is it possible for us to even buy a home? So that's when I start once again back to do the application. Let's do the soft pull and let me figure out how to get you into a home. Let me see what down payment assistance programs you qualify for, or what loan programs you could qualify for, or what part of town. Oh, you're looking to buy in a rural area. Well, let's look at USDA. You could actually possibly get in for nothing down if you qualify. So I think that's really the loan officer's job, is to help them figure out the programs and the down payment assistance and all those niche programs, because different areas have different programs. And there's no way for the buyer to know all of those.
So, Shannon, is it okay if I ask you an extra bonus question?
Sure.
that a lot of audience might want to know. This will be helpful to, the buyers and the seller as well. So that the new homes builders, they have a lot of incentives. They
Right.
have so, unbelievable rates compared to the market rate today.
Mhm.
So what advantage that the buyer or the seller can, have when if they work with you as an independent loan officer versus using, the lender that preferred by the builder?
Um, it depends, right? If you're looking to, well, one, not all the new home buyer programs or builders. One, the builders usually have some form of ownership in the company. Not all, but a lot of them do. And they're not set up with all of the actual programs that are out there that you could possibly take advantage of. I mean, I actually get referrals from home builder mortgage companies because there's programs they don't do. Some of them don't do down payment assistance. Some of them won't take a credit score below 640, 620. Some of them don't have the what we call non-QM, not the standard programs to help clients. So that's one thing. I have all of those programs, so I'm able to help you with that. Does the builder offer sometimes washer, dryer, and refrigerator? Absolutely. Can I do that? No. So if you're in need of that, that's definitely the way to go. The way that the builder can offer that really low interest rate is they have that cost where they buy down the rate, but that cost is in the cost of the home,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes I'm not able to compete with that. But when you work with me, one, you only work with me. I don't push you off to my assistant. I don't push you off to anyone else in my team. I stay with you from start to finish. I work hand in hand with your real estate agent. I take a lot of time up front. I also work on the weekends and in the evenings, whatever helps you and works with your time schedule. But I'm also going to lay it out for you. And if you want to go look at 20 homes, I'll run numbers on 20 different homes for you because depending on the neighborhood, depending on the age of the home, what is the roof, how old is the roof on the home, some homes may have an HOA, some may not. And all of that can affect your monthly payment. So I will go through each and every home that you're looking at and go step by step. You may figure, oh, I really like this home, but maybe it exceeds my monthly budget. So you'll know that before you go. Or if you're smart, you may say, maybe I don't want to go see that house. It's out of my budget and I just don't even want to go there because I'll probably like it. So, but that's, I go to closing but I think mostly you just get that personal service and, I just have all the different programs to offer.
Yeah. And Shannon is right when she mentioned that she being so personal. How I met Shannon is from an open house. She just went through during the weekend, she just went through a lot of open houses and say hi to realtors like us. So being a person that been in the industry for 30 some years and find the time to be able to build relationships like that, I'm sure she can do so much more for her clients, even if that's something that she does for realtors, right? So Shannon, can you please, that's all the questions I have for you. Can you please let us know more about your service, what you offer, where's your office at? Tell us more about you.
Oh, okay. Well, I already told you that I got into this industry in 1990. So for a long time, I've really seen the market up and down and make all these insane changes, and just technology and everything has changed. But as far as working with me directly, you can text me, you can call me, you can email me. Anytime you need to schedule an appointment, I'm happy to do that with you. I will meet you in person if you're local in anywhere in the Houston metropolitan area. If not, we can do a call like this where we're both on Zoom.
Mhm.
I'm always happy to answer all of your questions and go through the steps with you. I don't think it's ever too early to start. So if you are thinking or seeing this video and thinking, oh, well, I wonder if I could afford a home, it's never too early. Give me a call. Let's put that plan together. And then what we'll do is we'll keep up with each other throughout the year. And then when we get about 6 months out, okay, where are we? Let's go through it all again. Let's make sure we're still on track. And, but we offer at Integrity Mortgage, we offer all the down payment assistance programs, VA for veterans, FHA loans, all the conventional loans, and then all the non-QM. So when I say non-QM, I mean they're not standard everyday programs. They are, let's say you're self-employed and you don't show all your income on your tax returns. We have no ratio programs. If you're looking to buy investment products, we have niche investment products, foreign national programs, profit and loss programs, bank statement programs. So we have a huge variety of programs to help everyone.
Mhm. Mhm.
And you truly will get the personal service. I'll do all I can to help you and to hold your hand and walk you through the process. And also, we really have great service. We move as quickly as possible. Not all companies or corporations that you work for, you can pick up the phone and call the CEO, the owner of the company, whenever you want. At my company, even for my realtors, he is always happy to speak with you directly. Or he'll do a video and just let you know how much he appreciates you working with us. It's really something different. It's kind of more of a family here. Some of these people that I work with, I've known for 20 plus years. And so even on the weekend, I can pick up the phone and harass them if I need something,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I like because I do harass them.
Yeah. I don't know about all of the buyers, but I do like the personal service. Like I want to be able to talk to an actual person and text
Right.
them and share with them my stress when I search for homes instead of just, AI and call 1-800 number whenever I have to.
Or you start a relationship with somebody, and then when you get to a certain point, they move you to someone else, and then they move you to someone else. So then you're like, wait a minute, I just shared everything with this one person, and now they're not working on my loan any longer. That's just not the way it is. You had me from start to finish.
Yeah.
My processor may send you an email, but more than likely you'll never speak with her.
Yes.
She's there working the loans, pushing them forward. But I'm the go-to person. I'm the one that you'll always pick up the phone or text me late at night because you and your spouse are having a conversation and you're like, oh, we need the answer to this. And I'll be the one that texts you back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So for those of you who have worked with me, you know that I am the exact same way. You text me at 9 p.m. and at night, I'm the one who answer all your emails, your concern. And if you want the same level of service, Shannon's your girl. Shannon's the go-to. Okay, is there anything else that you want to add to this conversation, Shannon? Anything else that you want the home buyers to know?
I think I'm just going to go back to it's never too early to start. Reach out to a lender, reach out to Jill so she can help find you the perfect home. I think being able to communicate when you have questions, that's a big thing. I also go to my closings. So I don't just start with you from the beginning. I go all the way to the closing table and I'm sitting there with you. I review the documents with you that you're going to sign on one of the biggest days of your life, the biggest expense for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with over those with you ahead of time, so that when you get to the closing table, it's joyful instead of, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed, I got to read all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't stress enough how important and how helpful that would be to a buyer. I had a buyer pick their own lender. I have never worked with a lender before, and during the closing, they had a lot of questions for the lender, or there was just some number that the lender didn't include when they sent out the final disclosure, and we could not reach the lender, so it was very stressful.
That
Uh,
is.
yeah, so having the lender at the closing table and with your realtor is super, super helpful. Well,
Great.
thank you so much, Shannon, for your time today. It was a very helpful, informative conversation that we have here. Everybody, I will link Shannon's information down in the description below. If you guys have any questions at all, home related, please reach out to us. And like Shannon say, it's never too early to start a process. So even if you have an idea of buying a house, say 2, 3 years later, let Shannon know, talk to her. So she lets you know how you can prepare for that journey. Like she mentioned earlier today, you need 2 years of income history in order to qualify if you're a 1099, for example. So that's when we need to start early. We need to talk to someone who know exactly what we need for this process to get done. And she's gonna guide you through the entire process for free. Like, she doesn't charge any money upfront to do all that. So I don't know why you wouldn't utilize her to help with your buying process. We realtor and loan officer only get paid at the closing table. So even if you work with us 4 or 5 years, figure out your numbers, and at the end you cannot close on the house, we don't get paid. We don't charge you anything for our service upfront. So please, please, please utilize us. Okay, well, thank you so much, Shannon. And it's been a great conversation. I will catch you later. And everyone, I'll catch you at the next video with another vendor. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.